Hello, Let's Book It! It's Emily here, and this week I'm going to be reviewing Queen of Babble by Meg Cabot. So let's go to the Goodreads app. Woohoo! Currently reading and read. Cool. Okay, here we go. Here's the description as per Goodreads. Lizzie Nichols has a problem. She can't keep anything to herself. And when she opens her big mouth on a trip to London, her good intentions get her long-distance beau, Andrew, in major hot water. Now she's stuck in England with no boyfriend and no place to stay until the departure date on her non-refundable airline ticket. Fortunately, Lizzie's best friend and college roommate, Sherry, is spending her summer catering weddings in a 16th century chateau in southern France. Who cares if Lizzie's never traveled alone in her life and only speaks rudimentary French? She's off to Solac to lend a helping hand. One glimpse of gorgeous Chateau Mirac and of gorgeous Luc, the son of the chateau's owner, and Lizzie is smitten. But thanks to her chronic inability to keep a secret, before the first cork has been popped, Luc hates her, the bride is in tears, and Chateau Mirac is on the road to becoming a lipo recovery spa. Add to that the arrival of ex-beau Andrew, who's looking for closure, or at least a loan, and everything, including Lizzie's shot at true love, is in la toilette, unless she can figure out some way to use her big mouth to save the day. So this whole section over here is Meg Cabot. Yay! So those are just the ones and I've also read all of the Princess Diaries books, which I only have 2 in my collection. I've also read all of the Mediator series books, which are excellent. Highly recommend those. She is a wonderful author for young adult. The problem, though, that I had with this book was that the main character seemed a bit stupid. It was just not quite up to my intelligence level, I guess. There's a lot of dialogue, kind of corny dialogue. That's not necessary to the plot. It's very lighthearted, and if you're into that, that's totally cool. It's perfect for reading at the beach or, just a fun read overall. The story is interesting, although it is a little cliche, kind of like how romantic comedy movies are. You know what's gonna happen, but it's still fun to watch and see how the events transpire. Again, the characters are a little cliche. The main character, she's recently lost a lot of weight and she's kind of insecure, and so she isn't exactly like the confident type person. It's perfectly ordinary for her to kind of daydream and blow things out of proportion. It definitely adds to the tone of the book as a lighthearted and kind of fun frolic. The other characters that are a bit cliche are the grandmother, who's kind of like the opposite of what you would think a normal grandmother would be, which has been, done before. This book was published in 2006. Another cliche character was kind of the bitchy girlfriend who's, doesn't have the same interest as the romantic interest, and so she's kind of an obstacle for the main character to overcome. I'm not wholeheartedly a fan of, stereotyping that kind of person, but if that's what Meg Cabot wants to do, it's her book, so she can do whatever she wants. There was, however, a very good relatability to me personally, because I have recently graduated and I studied a major that wasn't necessarily something on the career path, career business track, to get a job right out of college, It was very interesting to me because she actually even encounters some people who her father works with that are like, why'd you choose that as your major? What are you gonna do for a living? And then she's like, pulling stuff out of her butt. I can definitely relate to that, choosing printmaking as my major. I'm still kind of struggling to find a job and a career even, and so I definitely relate to that, and I know I've been there. Another theme in this book is choosing a relationship instead of furthering your own career or taking a step to be more independent, which kind of also is a little cliche. It is definitely a valid point. You have to choose in your life like what's going to make you happiest. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to choose a relationship over a career, but in this book it was a bad choice. So she definitely sees the error of her ways, and there's time to make it right, so everything works out in the end. One thing that I could not stand, the way the format is very interesting. Before each chapter is a part of a thesis paper, a little selection from the thesis of the main character who is studying fashion history, which is definitely something that interests me. But being a scholar of Greek history, and Greek art history more in particular, the fact that here, I can read it to you. In contrast to Egyptian costume, in which there was a distinct division in the style between the sexes, the Greek costume during the same period did not vary between men and women. Large rectangles of cloth of different sizes were draped across the body and fastened only with a decorative brooch. This garment, which is called a toga, went on to become a favorite costume of college fraternity parties, for reasons this author cannot fathom, as the toga is neither flattering nor comfortable, especially when worn with controlled top underwear. Which is comical. It's very funny. But incorrect. The Greeks wore garments called chitons, C-H-I-T-O-N-S. I'll put it in here. And the Romans wore togas, not the Greeks. Important to know. I feel like somebody should have caught that. I read it in like one day. It's like 300 pages. It definitely keeps you interested and keeps you reading and engaged. It's a good beach read, and it will satisfy your romantic comedy cravings if you have those, kind of like chick lit, I guess. I didn't think that it was a bad book, I just had some issues with it. I like how in the beginning she shifts. She's kind of not super wise, as her decision making isn't that great. She's really insecure because she's just lost the weight, which is totally understandable. She's really gullible, which is like, ugh. And the reader totally can tell that she's falling for something that's not exactly what it seems. But towards the end of the book, it's really interesting because she shifts, the character grows to become more confident and a little bit smarter, not necessarily smarter, but more skilled at dealing with the situations that are thrown her way. And she pretty much saves the day, so that's all I'm going to say about the end of the book. It kind of reminded me of the meddling ways of the characters in Jane Austen books and, you know, all of that stuff. People make assumptions, kind of like in Pride and Prejudice, and they don't know the whole story, and yeah, that's pretty much all. It was interesting, to say the least. I don't think that I wasted my time, but I would probably rate it a 2.75 out of 5 stars. So, yay! This is my side company, Daisy Print Company, but through Daisy Print Company, we have an Etsy page where we sell like cards and other cool things, posters and that sort of stuff that I make in my spare time. I made these cool bookmarks. Yay! For Let's Book It. So, if you would like one, they're $1, but then shipping and handling will be another $1. So they're $2 total inside of the United States. If you live outside of the United States, they'll be probably about $4. So, yay, Let's Book It. It says, I want to live in the world of fiction. YouTube.com/LetsBookIt. They're really nice. I printed them on like photo cardstock, so they're like shiny and glossy. I'll put the link in the doobly-doo. Follow us on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe. Check back every Wednesday and leave comments of books you want to see us review next. I'm totally open to any suggestions. So, yay, let's book it. Okay, see you next week. Bye.